Hey guys, so on the Japanese server, they recently got a new Neovision tank, which is Snow, and we're going to take him out to try him against the hardest hitting trial in the game at the current time, which is Scorn of Asura hard mode. Now, I don't have Snow myself. I used a few tickets on his banner, didn't get anything. So we're going to be taking a friend Snow instead. Stupix set me up a nice one. So because of that, I've got to take all the DPS of my own to do this trial, which is going to be a little tricky because, I don't have any matching DPS. I've got to take mismatched units, so I don't have the rotations line up. Also, because of that, we're going to have to, it's going to be a little bit slower than taking a friend DPS, so I might edit out some repeat turns once we get into a groove, because the main point of this is to see Snow in action and show how he tanks, because he's a little bit of a different kind of tank. But yeah, so if it turns out to be slow because of taking my own DPS, this video might get some editing, or maybe it turns out to be fine, we'll see. But like I mentioned, Snow is a little bit of a different tank because he's the bulkiest tank in the game as far as mitigations go, because he has potentially permanent uptime of 90% general mitigation. But it does consume his LB gauge, so he takes a little bit of help to keep his LB gauge going. But if you build a team that can do that, he is extremely bulky. So here is his resistances. We've got 100 fire, ice, and lightning for phase 2. Because Snow is so bulky, we don't need any resist for phase 1, so water, wind, and earth we don't even care about. And here is the gear that Stupix built for me. Overall, nothing really too special. He's got his own STMR, but other than that, most of this is actually free event gear. I think he's only got two STMRs other than his own. So this build is not like super extreme or anything. And there's got the Gabranth vision card, so he'd be even better with his own vision card. Here's the shift form. We're not using it, but there's his magic tanking form, but Asura is all physical, so that's all we care about. So there's Snow, and then the rest of the team is just a classic Asura, Sayaka to cure debuffs, Nicole for buffing and LB filling. Tifa is going to be our seal unit. She's got all the elements equipped in the base form with evasion, and then shift form she's going to be capping in phase 2. She's got a thunder weapon to take advantage of the imperil. Other than that, a little bit of 250 human, 125 undead for phase 2. Phase 2 is not demon, so that's not relevant for Tifa. Riku has got a thunder weapon. He's going to be chaining. He's got 150 demon, 275 human, 0 undead. And then lightning is going to be chaining as well. 275 demon, 300 human, 0 undead. So we're a little low on dead. We're going to hope Tifa in phase 2 speeds it up. But yeah, like I said, it's hard to gear 3 different units for this fight as your own DPS. So hopefully I don't need to do any editing. Let's get into the fight. Alright guys, because of the friend cooldown, I don't want to retreat because of a mistake I made, and of course I made a mistake. So we're starting the fight over. Okay, so this is going to be Asura. Anyway, we're back to turn 1. Okay. So for turn 1, this is going to be the most dangerous turn of the fight for Snow because he doesn't have his good mitigation yet. His LB is not ready. So we're going to just use his 75% mit instead. So after this turn, though, we plan to have his good mitigation up for the remainder of the fight. We're going to use Tifa to soak the counterattacks. Let's see. Let's use Sayaka to fill LB gauge and pass hers along. Let's have Riku break the boss and Lightning do her ATB buff. Okay, so this turn Snow's going to get hit pretty hard. We don't have as good 90% mitigation yet. We're going to have it next turn. And then from then on after that. Yeah, as you say, first turn, extremely painful. That should be the hardest Snow gets hit in the entire fight. Now let's use Nicole to fill LB a little bit. Now we can use Snow to get his good mitigation, his good physical mit, his good defense buff. Sayaka will LB to imperil. Tifa will eat the counters. Lightning will LB, and we will chain. So phase 1 is going to be relatively quick. it's pretty easy. Phase 2 is going to be very slow. I was recording Phase 2 a minute ago, and I'm just going to record the first bit of Phase 2 because it is so slow with my own DPS, because I don't have enough killers to go around with 3 of my own DPS, and Tifa was not helping in Phase 2. Her DPS is just way too low for Phase 2. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and just show Phase 1, and then we're gonna swap it out. So let's have Sayaka feed lightning. We will cure debuffs on Snow. Tifa will do that. Let's see here. Snow will cover and break. Nicole will fill LP gauge. Let's do this. And Snow, break, and cover. Okay, so we're getting about 12% a turn with our DPS in Phase 1. Because we're geared for a really high demon and human killer. So every even turn, we're going to use Snow's LB fill thing. Or LB mitigation thing. So even turn, let's do Snow's mitigation. Let's have Sayaka give lightning an LB bar so we can keep that damage rolling in. And then we will cure debuffs. Tifa will eat the counters. Go ahead and chain. Nicole fills everyone's LB back up, and we're good to go again. There we go. Snow's good to go with his LB. Again, could be 2 turns in a row, but we don't need it 2 turns in a row. Okay, as you see, Snow's taking pretty low damage. He's not using any resistance gear. The boss has an attack buff. We're not using Golem. He's still tanking it like a champ. Not a problem. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and refresh the ATB buff this turn. Let's see. Nicole needs to re-unlock. Tifa will do her thing. We'll do a better break with Riku. It's turn 5. We're going to do this. Wait for Tifa to finish eating the counters. Okay. Let's see. What turn is it? Turn 6. So we're going to mitigate and do your thing. Tifa eat counters. Chain. Chain. Go ahead and do this. There we go. And Sayaka will keep lightning rolling along with the damage. While Nicole fills LB gauge. Okay. So glorious. Snow taking 1,000 damage on a turn of Asura. Eat those counters. Let's have Snow. Snow's not using an elemental weapon, so he's not really going to cap for anything meaningful, but he's technically capping with non-elemental here. Alright, Sayaka, let's go ahead and feed lightning again. Let's cure Snow. And Nicole just fill LB gauge. So probably 2 more turns. 9 turn phase 1. Pretty good. Probably more like a 10 turn. Let's go ahead and LB with Sayaka here. It's turn 8. Snow needs to do his mitigation. Eat the counters. Do our chaining. Do some LB fill with Nicole. Okay. 2 more turns. Because we're going to push the boss next turn, and I want to guard next turn, we're going to have Snow do his mitigation yet again on an odd turn. Let's see. Let's do this. I'd really love to get Lightning's LB without having to entrust it. I didn't. Oof. Oh well. Let's have Sayaka, I guess, do this instead. Alright. So we're going to push the next phase next turn, and Snow can, because we have his mitigation up, he's going to be able to guard next turn, and this phase transition is going to be super easy for him to tank. Like, super easy for him to tank. Alright, so let's go ahead and guard Snow. Let's have Sayaka pop up some healing on, or some entrusting on Lightning. And let's do a debuff immunity. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Perfect, next phase. Nicole can fill LB twice. Tifa's going to go ahead and shift. Yeah, let's go ahead and shift Tifa and get her Magnus ready. We'll burst on the boss this turn. So there we go. I didn't see how far Snow went down on the transition, but he tanked that transition without dying. We still have no deaths this clear. So let's go ahead and put up his mitigation. We're now doing his mitigation on odd turns. We kind of swapped it up a little bit. Sayaka will do this. Let's see. Fill LB gauge. Tifa will cap. Let's go ahead and chain. As you see, this phase is super tanky. That was with Tifa's Magnus. Oh, I forgot debuff immunity. Look at this. I'll fix that with Sayaka. It's not a problem. But yeah, the boss is stupidly tanky in this phase. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Alright, let's do debuff, cure, and immunity, and we will cure that. There we go. We're a little low on LB. Let's go ahead and just ATB buff here. Let's do this. It's an odd turn, so we'll do this and this. We can just guard Tifa for the moment. We'll chain next turn, and Nicole can fill LB gauge and just whatever. Okay. I think the boss cures debuffs this turn. She does. Oof. Let's go ahead and re-imperil. It's an odd turn. We're going to use Snow's mitigation. Chain. Triple chain. Tifa's going to shift. And Tifa's going to... We're going to LB with Nicole here. Alright. We're going to cap with Tifa without using her... Actually, no, we're going to use the Magnus. And we'll cap next turn. Because the boss won't have a defense buff next turn. Alright. So as you see, anyway, the point of this is to show Snow, and he's tanking it totally fine. But like I said, I'm bringing my own DPS, and this phase is just dumb. Just super dumb with my own DPS. So, come on, Sayaka. So we're not going to record much more of this. I guess 2 more turns or something. Alright. Chain, chain, chain. Oh, we are a little bit short on LB. Look at that. But we're good. Alright. Let's chain. Let's cap. Alright. Let's do our damage here. I mean, it's not like super slow or anything, but it's pretty slow. Okay. And there's the boss's defense buff. Very exciting. Tifa's back in base form. We'll Hot Fever. I guess we'll do this. Do this. It's an odd turn. So we'll do Snow's thing. We don't want to imperil the boss, so we'll just wait on that. I mean, you know, we can do our LB anyway because we're gonna fill it up again with Nicole anyhow. Okay, so we're gonna burst one more time and then we're gonna stop the video here. You've seen Snow, you've seen that he's a good tank. He just needs a little bit of help with his LB gauge. Other than that, he tanks totally fine. So let's go ahead and burst here. Once Siaka wakes up. Alright, Siaka, let's go ahead and cure those debuffs, give us immunity, and we will cure debuffs on Snow. Chain. Chain. Tifa will shift and just cap without her LB, without powering up her LB. Let's see, Snow this turn. Cover and do this. How's Nicole's cooldown? 2 turns. Okay. So we're going to do this. There we go. Nicole will fill LB gauge. And we're going to cap again next turn. And that'll be the last turn we show. The boss cured his debuffs. What a obnoxious boss. Let's do this. It's 17. Snow will... This. Anyway, we're going to chain again and cap again, but the boss has a defense buff again. Stupidly tanky, so I'm not going to show anymore. It'll just be slow and repetitive. I have to do status immunity again on the team. I forgot to refresh that with Siaka because I'm bad. Yeah, there's the fight. Super exciting. Oh, and lightning's hitting people. Yeah, I didn't buff status. I'm just not paying attention here. There we go. That's what I should have done. Whatever. I lost a further turn from not buffing immunity. So we're gonna stop here. There was an example of Snow tanking the hardest trial in the game. He tanked it absolutely fine. He had no risk of ever dying. Other than the first turn was a little dicey, but it was still not a problem. So there we go. I will see you guys next time.